Okay, let's get started. Ready? Good evening. I am calling this meeting to order for today, Wednesday, May 13th. Okay, you'll call the roll. Can you please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Romero,
Present.
Councilmember Peralta,
Present.
Councilmember Melendez,
Here.
Councilmember Alonso,
Here.
Mayor Tamayo.
Here. And with that, Mr. City Attorney, can you please announce the closed session items?
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, members of the council. This time, any public comments on closed session? We have no public comments on closed session items, so it's appropriate to recess into closed session, and we'd ask the city council recess for item number 1, which is conference with labor negotiators as listed on the agenda. It's appropriate to retire into closed session.
We'll be back at 7 p.m. Thank you. Great. Good evening, everybody. We're back from closed session. So, Mr. City Attorney, can you please report out?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. The record should reflect that the City Council, with all 5 members being present, recessed into closed session for the one item that was announced prior to recessing into closed session, which is item number 1 under conference with labor negotiators. That item was discussed with the City Council in closed session. There was no final action or determination at this point, and there's nothing further to be reported. Madam Mayor, that concludes my report from closed session.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. We'll move on to invocation. Please, Mr. Matanga, if we can please stand.
Lord, we are meeting here today to conduct the matters of business, guide our hearts and our minds in spirit of fairness, bright thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
And we'll move on to our Pledge of Allegiance. And before I have our future leader come on up, I'm going to say a little bit about him. Stephen Hadegi. Stephen is a proud 4th grade student at La Merced Academy, where his favorite subject is math. Stephen is a well-rounded and talented young leader who enjoys a variety of activities and hobbies. An interesting fact about Stephen is that he has a large plushie collection. He has been playing tennis for the past 2 years, participates in soccer throughout the city of Montebello, and has studied piano for 3 years at the Royal Academy, The Sound of Music. When he grows up, he hopes to either become an ice cream man or work at an animal shelter where he can help provide loving homes for dogs in need. We celebrate his enthusiasm, talents, and bright future and extend our best wishes for his continued success and achievements. Stephen, please come on up. Older? Yes, yeah, come on, all the way up. So you're going to hold the microphone and speak into the microphone, and the flag is right there.
We are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job, thank you. Yep. All right, we'll move on. Corrections to the agenda, Mr. City Manager, do we have any?
Sure. Good evening, Mayor, council members. We have one correction to the agenda. Item number 2 will be moved to the May 27th council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll start with the ceremonial presentations up at the front. So if my colleagues can please join me. So we'll do those. Okay, so we do have something to read for. Okay, okay. So we want to congratulate, we have representatives today from the Sure basketball and Sure water polo teams. Both from the girls' teams. So congratulations, CIF champs, right? That's correct. So congratulations. We wanted to come invite you out to City Hall to congratulate you personally. You represent Montebello, and so we want to let you know that we appreciate all your hard work and dedication that you've given. So we have some certificates. But I'll go ahead and start with head coach, and this is for basketball. Juan Covarrubias. We can speak a little bit about the team, and then we'll
Well, thank you everybody for being here. I mean, we did the unthinkable, right? We credit to all these girls, my coaching staff. We showed up day in and day out. For those that don't know, our season starts in November, and it ended all the way in March. So it was a very long season, but nonetheless, all the girls, I mean, we faced adversity. They overcame all the challenges that were presented in front of them. And ultimately, I like to think that we had a great season because we did end up the champs. So just know that we're proud of you guys, and thank you to everyone a part of this today because we truly do appreciate it. And very much to how you said, they did represent not only their high school, but also the city of Montebello. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we stay up here?
Yes. Well, you could stay up because we'll do a group picture. Yeah, we'll go ahead and bring up Leon Bruce, the assistant coach. Thank you. Congratulations. And we have Patty, who's also assistant coach. Is she here? We'll save that for her. Mike Rubio, assistant coach. Jesse Sepulveda, also assistant coach. Congratulations, coach. Congratulations. And we'll move on to our players. Kimberly, number 1. Congratulations, Kimberly. How exciting. Valerie, number 2. Congratulations, Valerie. And we have Haley. Haley was number 3. Congratulations, Haley. Angeli, number 5. Congratulations, Angeli. How exciting. Marley Diaz, she was number 10. Marley, congratulations. Ellen? Ellen Hong, number 11. Congratulations. Caitlin Pacheco, number 12. She's there. Okay, we'll save these. Natalia Barajas, number 13. Congratulations. Madison, come on up, Madison. Not present. Nicole. All right, Nicole. Congratulations. Natalie Contreras. Congratulations, Natalie. Ariana Perez. Number 30. Congratulations, Ariana. Janelle Ortiz. All right. Venecia is next, number 32. Congratulations. Levion Frank, number 34. Congratulations. Sarah, number 35. Congratulations, Sarah. Congratulations. And we have Kimberly Bravo, number 44. Yay. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for the women's basketball team. Yeah, so we'll do a group picture. So if you guys can. Our next recognition is for the girls water polo team, Sure High School. Again, CIF Southern Section Divisional Champs. So I'll call the head coach up, Jonathan Reese, please.
Yours?
Yes.
Thanks. The journey was really great. The beginning, usually in the sport, it helps having a lot of length, but our girls are little warriors in the water. Throughout the whole playoffs, it was just a test of integrity and all the hard work that they put. In the beginning, probably nobody would have gave us a chance, but the thing is that they believed in themselves. They allowed themselves to grow as a team and come together for one goal. And as we made it further and further, we kind of played more and more away. Water polo is usually a sport that is much bigger in Orange County. City teams around LA don't get that big. But we went over there and we proved the point. And if you guys ever had a chance to watch them, the cardiac kids, you know, always making it close, but always seeming to pull through. And it was just a test of their character. Like to thank my assistant coach, Coach Diego, as well, for helping out throughout the year. And yeah, just a great group of girls. Very privileged to be able to coach them and continue on their journey. So thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you, Coach. So this is for you, and we'll go ahead and call up Diego Diaz, assistant coach. Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations. Matilda Larios, number 1. She's not here? All right. Ruby. Ruby was number 2. Come on up, Ruby. Have your shirts. Congratulations. Jocelyn. Jocelyn Dominguez, number 3. Where's she at? Julia. Julia Becerra. She brings up the hardware. Good job, Julia. Congratulations. Kaylee. Kaylee Sotelo? Kaylee? No, she's not here. Okay. Danielle. Danielle Lynn Escobar. Vidrio. Congratulations. Valet. Loreli. Loreli. Pues send those. Demi. Demi Acevedo. She's also up. Okay. She's goalie. Alani. Alani Martinez. Number 14. Congratulations, Alani. Natalie. Coming up, Natalie, number 16. Congratulations. Dana. Dana Camano. She didn't make it. And Casey. Casey Wabakaba, number 18. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, so again, another round of applause for these champions. Okay, it's great to have these ladies recognized, so I'm glad they were able to come out. We're going to move on to our proclamations. The first one is for the Asian American and Pacific Islander. This May, the city of Montebello joins communities across the nation in recognizing Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders Heritage Month, a time to celebrate the rich cultures, traditions, and contributions of AA and NHPI communities. Here in Montebello, our AA and NHPI residents play an important role in shaping the character of our city through their influence in local businesses, education, public service, and the arts. Their stories and experiences reflect the diversity that make our community strong and vibrant. This special recognition also serves as a reminder of the importance of fostering inclusion, understanding, and unity as we continue to move forward together. We encourage the community to take this time to learn more and celebrate and recognize the many contributions of AA and NHPI individuals. For more information, you can visit asianpacificheritage.gov. We are also recognizing Mental Health Month. This month, the City of Montebello recognizes Mental Health Awareness Month and joins communities across the nation in promoting the importance of mental health and well-being. Mental health is a vital part of overall wellness. As communities continue to navigate changes in daily life, it remains important to prioritize self-care and support one another. Many individuals continue to face challenges such as stress, isolation, and anxiety. But by fostering a culture of openness and understanding, we can help ensure that no one feels alone. We encourage our community to take this time to check in on themselves and others and continue working together to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health. If you or someone are in need of support, assistance is available through the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health 24/7 helpline that is at 1-800-854-7771, or you can visit dmh.lacounty.gov. We'll move on to National Poppy Day. Looking ahead to May 22nd, the City of Montebello recognizes National Poppy Day. Separate from our well-known orange state flower, National Poppy Day focuses on the red poppy that flourished in Europe following World War I. Battlefields that once saw the clash of men and machines were now covered by vast amounts of red poppies, which became a symbol of the bloodshed during the war after their reference in the poem In Flanders Field. The American Legion has distributed red poppies as part of a national program to memorialize the soldiers who fought and died during the war. So tonight, in advance of National Poppy Day later this month, I kindly ask that you take a moment to reflect on those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country, and encourage anyone who wishes to support the futures of veterans, active duty military personnel, and their families with medical and financial needs to visit the American Legion's website at www.legion.org. Now we have also National Military Appreciation Month. The City of Montebello proudly joins the rest of the country in recognizing May as National Military Appreciation Month, a time dedicated to honoring the courage, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to our nation's service members. Established in 1999, Military Appreciation Month invites all Americans to reflect on the legacy of our armed forces and the freedoms we enjoy because of their dedication. May is an appropriate month for our military remembrance, as this month includes VE Day, which commemorates the end of World War II in Europe and culminates with Memorial Day, observed on the last Monday of May. I encourage all residents who wish to honor and remember those who bravely served our country and gave their lives in the name of freedom to join us on Monday, May 25th at 11 at City Park Memorial Wall for our annual Memorial Day celebration. And our last but not least is our Public Works Week. I would like to take a moment to recognize National Public Works Week, which we will celebrate May 17th through the 23rd. The City of Montebello is incredibly grateful for the hardworking men and women of our Public Works Department who keep our communities safe, clean, and running smoothly every single day. From maintaining our streets and parks to responding during emergencies and supporting city operations, their work often happens behind the scenes but makes a lasting impact throughout our community. On behalf of the City Council and the residents of Montebello, a big thank you to our Public Works staff for your dedication, professionalism, and continued commitment to serving our city. And so that concludes that portion. We'll move on to public comments. Mr. City Attorney.
Yes. This time, it'd be appropriate for the City Council to receive public comment on non-agenda items. I believe we have a number of public speaker cards that have been turned in, and anyone who wished to address the City Council would have had to turn in their cards by this time. And Mr. City Clerk, can we go through the cards that have been turned in?
Yes. First speaker is Alex Lemus, followed by Julian Johnny Bertiguez.
Hello, City Council. First time, thank you for having me. I just want to say for a second, the police department by the riverbed. So we could synergize for people transitioning to high school to ELEC, so they have like a cadet program, so they could run in the riverbed and get in shape. And like that, people be safe in the riverbed, because sometimes it gets sketchy, but I don't want to bam off the city, but thank you for your time. Thank you.
Next speaker is Julian Johnny, followed
Thank you for your
by
comment.
Juliet Archuleta Duarte.
Hello, council members. My name's Julian Bertiguez. I live on 209 South Maple. I've been a resident here for 2 years now, and I just wanted to bring to the attention of the city that about 3 weeks ago, we got parking citations for the apartment buildings that are connected to an alley. Everybody parks in front of their garage door, and it's been like that for a very, very long time. And we're having to compete for parking now on Maple and by the Montebello Park. 20 garages are affected, so that's 20 more vehicles now parking on the streets. And we have street sweeping on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Makes it very impossible to find a space, and a lot of people rely on those spaces. Me personally, I've been affected by this, and December of last year, I actually was robbed at gunpoint 0.9 miles away from my address at the Gomer Plaza. And my fiance as well, I have a letter from her too. she's a veterinary technician, and she gets home around 2 a.m., sometimes later, and I'm having to, go in front, park the car. For example, yesterday, the entire from Whittier Boulevard to Olympic, all the way down by the park. It's farther from my residence, but completely full. So I had to take the risk and park in front of the garage last night. I didn't get a citation, but we like to review this. We got signatures from all the residents from the 20 apartments, not all of them, but most of them. And I also have family in other apartment units that are affected. My grandmother's bedbound, and she has physical therapists that come in that rely on the parking spot, IHSS workers, different things like that. Also have, the next speaker is actually my landlord, and she's gonna let you guys know about the signatures. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Next speaker is Juliet Archuleta Duarte, followed by Raul Hurtado.
Hi, good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff of the Montebello City Council. My name is Juliet, and I am the owner of the multi-unit residential property in Montebello. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. This is in regards to the recent parking enforcement issues affecting the residents who live along the alley behind our property and several neighboring apartment buildings. For more than 25 years, tenants in our building, as well as residents in neighboring multifamily properties served by that same alley, have routinely parked in front of their garage spaces. During that time, this practice has functioned without problems, without obstruction to emergency access, and without interference with normal traffic flow through the alley. Recently, however, residents began receiving citations under Municipal Code 1032-220 regarding parking in alleys except for loading and unloading. While we understand and respect the city's responsibility to enforce municipal codes and maintain public safety, this sudden change in enforcement has created a hardship for many working families who depend on these parking arrangements in front of their garages. The reality is that surrounding street parking in this area is extremely limited. The number of vehicles associated with the several apartment buildings along the alley far exceeds the available street parking that's nearby. In many cases, residents return home from work late in the evening and are unable to find parking within a reasonable distance from their homes. Some residents are seniors, families with children, or individuals who work early morning or late night shifts. For them, the current situation creates not just inconvenience, but a genuine quality of life issue. We respectfully asked the city to review the specific conditions of this alley and consider practical, community-oriented solutions that balance enforcement with the realities faced by the current residents. We specifically respectfully request consideration of the following: of a site evaluation of the alley to determine the current width and conditions can safely accommodate both vehicle access and limited residential parking. And then the other point is consideration of designated residential parking accommodations or exceptions for portions of the alley at least, as it is a pretty wide alley. We would also welcome to a site visit from the city staff or council representatives so this condition can be evaluated firsthand. We believe that seeing the layout in person would help demonstrate that residents have historically parked responsibly and that workable solutions may exist without compromising safety or accessibility. Our goal is to work cooperatively with the city, not in opposition to it, of course. We care about our community and want to maintain that safety.
Thank you for your comment.
Can I provide documents? Thank you.
Next speaker is Raul Hurtado, followed by Rosa Tamayo.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody here knows that Paul Espinoza, the previous chief here in Montebello, was appointed at Santa Fe Springs to be the police chief of the new established police department there. Coming to be, anyway. Personally, I believe that he will do an excellent job building from the ground up. I consider his vast experience at the Los Angeles Police Department. He was also a great chief here in Montebello by being a great leader and morale builder by example. Unfortunately, he was too busy doing a great job. He didn't see the snakes coming. I believe in karma, and I see karma on the horizon. And I suggest maybe that the association should be brought back better again to say how Louis Lopez, the police chief, is doing such a great job. And on to another subject. You, Mayor Tamayo, at a previous meeting, brought up the American genocide. You either didn't know or just refused to answer a very simple question I asked you. You allowed the American Legion to go over the 3 minutes allowed for public comments. And at the last meeting, you allowed an elderly gentleman to go on and about his son who has a drug problem when it was a public hearing. That's double standards. You should have stopped him, or the city attorney should have stopped him. He says you run the meeting, you didn't, he should have given you legal advice. You sat there like a deer in front of some headlights. You're just looking, I kept saying, he's gonna stop me, he's gonna stop me. You didn't. So we're saying with that, I would like to quote one of my favorite senators, which I admire very much, John Kennedy from the state of Louisiana. He says, I'm not saying you are the dumbest person in the world, but you better pray that the dumbest person doesn't die. May I suggest in the future, you can be more alert. Have a can of Red Bull before you start the meeting. It might keep you more alert. Thank you.
Next speaker is Rosa
Thank you for your
Tamayo,
comment.
followed by Veronica J. Neri.
Mayor Georgina Tamayo, en miembros del concilio, yo soy Rosa Tamayo. Quiero darle las gracias a David Sonowiski por los parques, están bien representando a la ciudad, están en muy buenas condiciones. Muchas gracias, lo pude observar cada uno de los parques. También este sábado estuve en el evento del Fire Department y estuvimos aprendiendo bastante, siendo que hacía como 40 años que me pasó un accidente igual que el que deshicieron el carro, pero yo de eso no supe qué pasó porque estuve inconsciente por mucho tiempo. Pero fue muy educativo para la comunidad, para los niños, para la gente. Y pues muchas gracias. Eventos de estos son muy apreciados. El otro problema que yo quiero decirles es que no vamos a tener dinero federal. Por lo tanto, ustedes tienen que cuidar el dinero. El dinero no es de ustedes, es de los contribuyentes, de toda la gente, y deben de respetar cada centavo que ustedes, no porque miren millones, ustedes estén gastando. Ahora el otro problema que vamos a tener es por los juegos de fútbol. Vamos a tener muchos homeless y no vamos a tener suficientes agentes de la policía para cuando esto pase en nuestra ciudad. Y ahorita no se mira la actividad, pero se va a mirar. Así que, por favor, tomen atención. Muchas gracias.
Gracias por su comentario.
Our next speaker is Veronica, followed by Denise Segopian.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Veronica J. Neri. I live in, I'm calling I'm here to request the parking situation on Maple Avenue. I've been a resident for 28 years, and it's always been off and on, off and on. Now we got cited because of parking in the back of the garage, and I feel like it's unfair for a lot of us. A lot of us have health issues, including me. I have a lot of health issues with my knees. And sometimes I come home late and I cannot find parking, or if I do find a parking, it would be out in the park. And it's just creating a lot of problems for us residents. And because there's other people that park in that Maple Avenue that don't live there. Maybe they're at the park or using the park facilities or have parties at the women's facilities, and they park there, and then us residents try to find parking, and it's difficult for us to find parking because of that, because extra people park on the Maple Avenue. And that's all I need to say, and thank you for taking this into consideration.
Thank you for your comment.
Our next speaker is Denise Segopian. I don't think she's here though, so we're gonna move on to Corey Chappell as our next speaker. And after Corey, we're gonna have Jesus Macias.
Hi, good evening. I'm Corey Chappell from District 5. And tonight I'd like to speak about the importance of giving the community enough time to meaningfully respond and participate in the decisions being made here. Many of the proclamations that get shared during council meetings recognize events that are only days away. While the recognition is appreciated, it would be far more helpful for residents if information about upcoming events and celebrations were shared earlier, ideally for the coming month instead of when we're halfway through the current one. That way, families and volunteers, schools and community organizations can actually put these events on our calendar and participate better. That same concern applies to council meeting agendas. Providing agendas at least 1 week in advance would give us a more fair opportunity to review materials, look into the issues, and prepare informed comments. Civic engagement works best when residents have enough time to absorb the information before decisions are made. Tonight's agenda is a good example. We have a lot of items included in the consent calendar. While these items may be considered routine, they can still involve important spending decisions, contracts, policy changes, and community impacts. Realistically, I'm not sure how council or the public have enough time to thoroughly research and understand all of the items with such limited notice. So transparency is not just about making information available, it's also about making it available early enough for the public to engage in a meaningful way. So I respectfully ask that the council consider earlier public notice for proclamations, events, and meeting agendas so that the community can become more informed participants rather than last-minute observers. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Next speaker is Jesus Macias, followed by Denise Segopian.
Good evening, Mayor Tamayo, Council Member, City Manager Alvarez. I'm here to speak for my membership. Today, there was a memo sent at 16:30 that we have to ask for approval for on-duty participation or attendance for a council meeting. We sent an email, we're waiting for the email. My members are on duty waiting to come and just attend and show support because I'll be speaking today as for my presentation on vacancies. We are still waiting. I was hoping the fire chief will be here so I can address the council and the city manager to have him approve that attendance, but I don't see him here. His absence speaks volumes. We have a past practice. We've been here before. We're not here to affect response times. This is the district line for our 55 station and our 57 station. I understand the south end. We can keep them on the south end, south of the tracks for better response times. But we want that participation, we want that support. Our members want to be here, but they're being ignored. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Next speaker is Denise Hagopian. Followed by Denise, we'll have Norma Rodriguez.
Hello, Denise Hagopian of Heavenly Choice on Montebello Boulevard. Just wanted to give you an update of what all the construction problems did to my business for Mother's Day. The hours, the flowers bought that didn't get sold, and the energy level was so low by the public because they had to go around the corner 2 times to get into my driveway. So the flags, banners, balloons, everything didn't help at all. But I saw them selling flowers on the street off the freeway on Whittier Boulevard. There were 4 stands of people by the park. Everybody had tents that were all illegal, that didn't pay to be a business in Montebello. Did they pay sales tax? I don't think so. Okay, why can you not go after the people that are selling illegally on the street? Why is code enforcement not working on the holiday, because that's when they all come out? You are supposed to be defending our businesses, and by not addressing all the people selling flowers on the side of the road, you're not. Why can those 2 people that sell regularly at the Chevron station on Paramount, how come they're never stopped? How come they're allowed to be there? Why aren't they cited? We get cited for flags, we get cited for banners, we get cited for all kinds of things, but the people who don't support the city and never pay any taxes and they don't have insurance, they get away with it. I heard that churches were selling flowers this year for Mother's Day at their at the entrances of their parking lots. People are going to say, why are you going after the churches? I'm not. They shouldn't be in the retail sales business unless they're going to pay a business license. I want to thank the Public Works Department. I appreciate how much effort they're putting into, but it'll be another 2 months before we get that left turn or the U-turn on Beverly Boulevard. Guess what? How much money you're spending repaving 7th Street? The trucks were out there again. They filled all the potholes in 2 weeks ago. Now they just dug up the whole street and they're repaving the entire street. So look how much extra money you're going to be paying for street maintenance, for the traffic going on residential areas and not on the main streets, and not passing by the businesses because they can't get to them. So I appreciate the efforts that you're making, but it's not enough. You really are going to have to chop up that curb and make access back open to the businesses on Montebello Boulevard. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment.
Next speaker is Norma Rodriguez. Is Norma Rodriguez here? Very well. I do have a speaker card. Christopher Jimenez, City Clerk. I just wanted to remind the residents about our June primary elections. Those are happening on June 2nd, 2026. By now, individuals should have received their vote by mail ballot in the mail. Review that and sign it and drop it off in a ballot box. Those are located around the city. We have 3 locations: Potrero Heights Park, Montebello Library off of Victoria, and Hollyfield Library. Those are open every single day all the way on through June 2nd, 2026. Anyone interested in voting in person, those locations open up on May 23rd. For more information, you can visit our website for those locations and times. And on that note as well, last week was Professional Municipal Clerks Week. So I do want to take a moment just to highlight the amazing team that we have in our City Clerk Administrative Department. And that's Kimberly, Samantha, and Alejandro. The Assembly member, Mark Gonzalez, did send out some certificates to recognize the hard work that they do in keeping this community moving forward, keeping our City Council organized and ready for every city council meeting. So I just wanted to thank you for all the work that you do, and it's an incredible honor to serve along this amazing team. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes all Superior cards, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. We'll move on to our public hearing. We have a public hearing to adopt resolutions approving the fiscal year 26-27 CDBG and Home Annual Action Plan.
Yes.
So we'll open up the public hearing at 7:54. Do we have any?
Are there any speakers in the audience who wish to address item number 9 on the public hearing to adopt the CDBG and Home Action Plan?
Mayor, we do have one speaker card. Should we call out this one first? We have Linda Nicholas for agenda item number 9.
Good evening. My name is Linda Nicholas, co-founder of Match 90640. This evening, first, I'd like to thank the city and the staff for all the work that goes into securing and distributing the federal funding. I know these decisions are not made easily, and I appreciate the effort to improve our community. I did want to respectfully ask some clarification regarding the proposed allocation of $204,000 in CDBG funding towards the historic preservation of the rehab project for the Montebello Women's Club. That's a private property. It doesn't belong to the city. I want to be very clear, this is not meant to be as an attack on the Women's Club or the value of preserving the local historic building for a matter. The organization that serves the community deserves recognition. My questions are simply about transparency, prioritization, and accountability. When residents see public funds being directed towards a private-owned property, I think it naturally raises questions. Many people in our community are struggling with important and everyday needs. So residents deserve to understand how these projects are prioritized over other possible community investments. For example, Heart of Compassion directly serves more than 3,200 families every week. 3,200 families every single week, and distribute over 14 million meals in 2025 alone. The level of direct community impact is significant, and I think residents naturally wonder how funding priorities are being evaluated. To me, that should be a top evaluation. What specific public benefit is expected from this allocation of over $200,000? How often is this facility available for public use? And what criteria were used to determine the project should receive over $200,000? I would also respectfully ask, who will be responsible for administering and monitoring the spending of these funds to ensure they are used properly, transparently, and according to all applicable guidelines? Again, these are questions respectfully and simply in the interest of transparency and accountability for the public funds. I did put a public card in for public orals. At the last meeting, during the public hearing, you closed it before a speaker were allowed. Also, you did not allow Councilwoman Romero to give her discussion. And when she wanted to, you took the vote and dismissed her. Ms. Romero, I would recommend you do what Peralta does. Take over the meeting and keep talking. You have a right to be heard.
I'm sorry, this is not related to
Thank
item
you.
number 9, so thank you for your comments.
Funny thing is, the man that came up here with his drunk son didn't stop him.
Thank you for your comments.
Mayor, that was the only speaker card we received for item number 9, but it's appropriate to ask the audience if they would like to speak up on this item.
Is there anyone else who wishes to address the City Council on item number 9? The record should reflect no one is stepping forward. It's appropriate to close the public hearing at this time and bring it up to the council level.
So any questions, Mr. Council?
Council, no presentation, but staff's available to answer any question. Okay. Sure. Okay.
And it's only on item number 9?
I want to know who else put in applications for CBDG funds, and when do you publicize when applications are available? And how do you evaluate between all of the people who put in applications? Who's going to get how much? How much did we get as a city?
Okay.
Thank you for your comments.
We'll answer your questions once here. Yes.
So can someone just tell me when are the applications available?
Once you conclude your comments, we'll go ahead and answer all the questions. Thank you, Ms. Segopian.
Madam Mayor, will you please close the public hearing?
Any other speakers? Okay, we'll close the public hearing, 7:59.
Mayor, council members, happy to kick it off. I'll allow staff, if they want to come up and talk, fill in more of the gaps in terms of the details and as far as the process, but the organization that was mentioned and questioned, they're an eligible organization based on the criteria that's established by the federal government. They go through a very thorough vetting process. I know there was a question asked in terms of the funding. Actually, the way the federal funding structure, the city of Montebello administers that funding. That funding doesn't go directly to the organization. We're the ones that are responsible for the allocation of that funding. We go through a public noticing process. We evaluate every application. I want to say maybe a couple months ago, we actually came forward before this body and agendized and disclosed publicly all the applications that we received based on that. So I'll allow staff to talk a little bit about that. There was a question mentioned. Well, I don't know. Maybe do you want to touch a little bit on that, Rosemary, first? Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, and city staff, and our wonderful Montebello community. We understand and accept all the questions. As our city manager stated, this is a very thorough vetting process that we have. As far as the funding priorities, those are based on our 5-year consolidated plan that is based off of community feedback. So in this case, our annual action plan received over 60 surveys from our community members. And our funding is for CDBG and home funds. It is administered through our housing division with the authority of our director, Joseph Palumbi. And we ensure, I have been here with the city of Montebello for, it will be 5 years this year. And ever since I've been here, we have been able to meet all of HUD's criterias, requirements. We have been able to get our city out of HUD jail. We have accomplished a lot of great things with our CDBG and home funding. We appreciate the community's trust with the funding that we have administered, and we continue to do the same processes. So we don't do anything without HUD pre-approving our applications, and we don't do anything without the community's input.
Yeah, so staff, basically, we have a very thorough process. We have a 5-year annual action plan that we have to bring before council, as mentioned. All these applications are publicly noticed. We bring them to council, we vet them, and we make recommendations based on the available funding and based on the funding formula. The funding formula is actually quite crucial. Touching on a comment that was made specific to Hearts of Compassion, this is one of our very valued nonprofits in our city that does incredible work. I want to say I've been here 3 years, and every year we've provided funding. The amount, we go based on the allocation amount that they requested. The $55,000 is actually what they requested this year. And I think they're going based on the fact that that's the maximum that we're allowed to give that organization. So last year, if I remember correctly, I don't remember the exact amount, but it was over $55,000, but we gave the $55,000, which is the maximum. This year, we are once again recommending the maximum that we are allowed to give this organization.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct. And just to remind all of our community that our CDBG funds, we have caps. So that just means that we are not allowed to spend over 15% of our allocation for public services, and we are not allowed to spend more than 20% for our admin services that we provide. And the remaining funds are allowed to be used towards public facilities and improvements and activities of that nature. The historic preservation that was thoroughly vetted before bringing this proposal before council. It is a privately owned property. However, it functions as a nonprofit, and there are regulations that we have to follow when we are awarding or proposing to award these funds. And again, HUD makes sure that we are not awarding our funds illegally per se.
Yes, sir. Mr. Manager, if I may, and Rosemary, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the reason why we see these amounts is because we've satisfied our Section 108 commitment, and we have the full amount of the CDBG allocation that's to the city available to us, which is $612,467 for this next annual action fiscal year, correct?
Yes, boss.
All right, perfect.
And we are the ones, our housing division, our staff, we're the ones who administer the fund. So it's not like we give checks to everybody who you see here. We have to do RFPs. We have to submit those RFPs to HUD. You know, we have to make sure that our money is, that our documentation is on track with HUD's requirements, so.
Yes. Councilmember Melendez.
Thank you. And just for clarification with for us and for the residents here, what are like the metrics that are utilized to assure that the fund that we allocate to, for example, the Community Wellness Center improvement for Ventus Health or the Montebello Women's Club, that the funds that we are giving out are utilized for the intended purpose? Like, can you just talk a little bit about like the metrics that you all utilize to assure that, one, the funds are being utilized, and two, that they are being appropriated the way that they're supposed to be?
Yes, absolutely. So basically all the metrics are identified in our application. Our applications are always published November, December every year. And it's the questions on the application are the metrics based off of HUD requirements. So it will ask for, business information or entity information. They have to be registered entities with the federal government to receive these funds. That's a huge factor with these applications. When our applicants are not aware of that, our staff helps them to ensure that they are able to meet that compliance portion. Also, there are cost rationale identifiers that have to be shown on the application, project, costs, budget, what type of low to mod households will be served, if it's area that will be served, if it's individuals. So everything is on the application, and then staff just goes the extra mile to connect with HUD because we've built a great rapport with them, and they help us to ensure that our applications and the metrics on there meet the requirements for our proposed projects.
And council member, also, in speaking in terms of the criteria, how do we substantiate what this money, how this money is being spent? For example, right, because it was just brought up, the Women's Center. So the total amount that they requested is actually for capital improvements. And as part of their application process, they were required to provide an exact line item for every capital improvement, the cost. And also, as part of that process, they are required to get a licensed contractor that has experience in reporting back. We are extremely regulated not only on our end, but actually for the folks that actually receive this money. So they have to have licensed contractors that can report back or know the process to report back to the state. It was mentioned a few years, many years ago, we were not in good standing, and it's taken us a long time to ensure that we are in good standing now. So we are heavily regulated on a regular basis. We have to provide update reports, and then annually we are audited for this funding. So we can substantiate every application, every project, every cost, because not only do we have to report that back to this body, but we have to report that back to the federal government to ensure that we're in good standing.
Understood. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? Yeah. Councilmember Peralta.
Yeah, thank you very much. And so to clarify, it's two buckets of opportunities, right? It's the home and then the CDBG. Can you talk a little bit? I know we've been focusing more on the CDBG funding, and that's used for programs, nonprofits that go back to the criteria requirements that is set by the federal government. Can you just speak a little bit more specifically on the home funding and kind of what that helps fund in our community in terms of opportunities?
Yes, absolutely. So our home funds are also very important. They help not only fund our administration and planning, but they help fund a very important program that we currently have here in our city. It's called the Home Grant Program. And with that, here in Montebello, our residents were not attracted to a grant program. To a loan program. We used to have a home loan program where we would rehabilitate homes and it would be a loan in the form of a loan. Staff here identified that issue, and so the whole program was converted into a grant program. And now our Montebello house homeowners are able to apply for this grant up to $50,000 for homes that meet the home value limit, which staff also works really hard to make sure we're increasing the home value limit through we do an annual survey of our home sales, and we submit that to HUD for approval. But the home grant program, homes are benefiting where homes are right now currently $835,000 in value or less. We're able to come in and give a grant of up to $50,000 to rehabilitate the home. We've so far under our grant program, we've had 2 successful homes that have been benefited through the program. Currently, we have 3 in the pipeline. So it's a great program that we're offering now. And then also our home funds fund Chodo acquisition and new construction. So I don't know if we remember last year we awarded Cesar Chavez $700,000 of those funds, and it's for the new build that's going on for phase 2. So that's what our home funds are doing right now here in Montebello.
Yeah, thank you so much for walking us through that. I know in past years we've identified the issues specifically about the home loan as well as the value thresholds and how that has become a barrier in the past for residents to qualify and be able to access this type of programming and services. So I appreciate just the pivoting and finding ways of restructuring these types of opportunities to make them more accessible. I know that in the past we've also talked about how we can just better improve promoting. And I know we've seen a lot more social media behind these opportunities. If it's not something that is being done, a recommendation that I would like to give is having a workshop where we can provide just capacity and technical support to residents that might not understand the application process or might have language barriers. So setting up a workshop that helps promote this specific program and then provides that technical assistance, I think would be a great opportunity for more residents to be able to know if they can qualify and then also receive the direct assistance they need to be actual applicants.
Absolutely, and staff's always available also to pre-qualify our community over the phone as well through the housing division.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any further questions or comments from council? Okay, I'll go ahead and ask for a motion and a second on this item.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
It's a motion by Councilmember Melendez, second by Councilmember Peralta. If you can please take the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Romero,
Aye.
Councilmember Peralta,
Aye.
Councilmember Melendez,
Aye.
Councilmember Alonso,
Aye.
Mayor Tamayo.
Aye. On to item number 10, also a public hearing pursuant to Government Code Section 3502.3 concerning vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts. Do we have a presentation?
We have a presentation for this item.
Okay.
Romo? Oh, Nicole's giving presentation.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council, and members of the public. Assembly Bill 2561 was effective January 1, 2025, and added Government Code Section 3502.3 to the Myers-Milius-Brown Act, commonly referred to as the MMBA, which governs public employer labor relations. It requires public agencies to hold a public hearing before the governing body each fiscal year and present information on vacancies, recruitment and retention efforts, and obstacles in the hiring process. The law also provides for employee organizations to have the opportunity to make a presentation at the public hearing. The city's bargaining groups were notified in advance of this public hearing, and I have been informed by one of our labor partners that they intend to present this evening. The City of Montebello has 10 bargaining groups that include safety bargaining groups that represent sworn police and fire classifications, and non-safety miscellaneous bargaining groups that represent various classifications throughout the city. There is also an employee group of unrepresented full-time employees. The chart on the screen shows the vacancy rate for the city's employee groups as of March 23, 2026. The citywide vacancy rate across all groups is 8.3%, which is reduced from last year's vacancy rate of 15.4%. In addition, as of the reporting date, March 23, 2026, there were no groups with vacancy rates above 20%. In contrast, last year there were 4 groups with vacancy rates above 20%. In calendar year 2025, Human Resources staff processed 90 recruitments citywide. There were 79 new full-time employees and 49 promotions to full-time positions. The Human Resources team strives to collaborate with hiring managers to recruit and select quality employees as quickly as possible. There are currently no obstacles in the hiring process, such as hiring freeze. There are, however, some hiring process challenges that may cause delays in the process. Some examples are the extensive background processes that are required for police and fire safety candidates. In the Transportation Department, all applicants who are being hired for safety-sensitive classifications are required to go through a U.S. Department of Transportation background check. Finally, there are instances when the city receives delay notifications from the Department of Justice due to an applicant's criminal background. The length of those delays can vary. The city has various recruitment initiatives in place to attract qualified applicants. There are hiring bonuses of $2,000 and $10,000 for bus operators and lateral police officers, respectively, that the City Council has previously approved. All city employees are notified of employment opportunities as they become available. Human Resources uses NeoGov, an online applicant management program, to efficiently and effectively screen applicants, schedule interviews, and communicate with the applicants. All open positions are posted on governmentjobs.com, which is where a large number of public agencies post their job openings. Staff has leveraged LinkedIn to market job openings and attract applicants, as well as partner with the Public Affairs Division to market career opportunities through the city's social media and community events. The city also has a trainee program for hard-to-fill positions, such as equipment mechanics in the transportation department. Finally, hiring managers are trained on how to navigate the recruitment and selection process. Employee retention is a priority for the city and its labor partners. Listed are some examples of employee retention strategies to foster a positive and productive work environment. The city offers tuition reimbursement program to support employees' educational and professional development, professional training and development opportunities with specialized organizations, opportunities for internal promotions and career path planning, recognizing employee contributions through employee appreciation events, enhancing employee wellness programs, enhancing compensation and other terms and conditions of employment through collective bargaining, and the development of in-house employee organizational development training programs. This presentation provided an overview of the City of Montebello's workforce, vacancy trends, and recruitment and retention strategies. The city staff recognizes the urgency of addressing staffing vacancies to maintain the high quality and continuity of public service. I would like to thank our human resources team for all their efforts in partnering with hiring managers to facilitate the recruitment and selection process. This concludes the presentation, and I am happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. So I'll open up the public hearing at 8:20. And we'll take any speaker or questions and then move on to speakers.
Well, if you have questions from the council, if not, we can go right into public comment. I know we have several speaker cards on this item.
And I believe we have one presentation from one of the, in accordance with the law, we are required to notice every bargaining group and inform them of the vacancy rate as of the cutoff date, and then we are required to afford them the opportunity to provide a presentation. There is one bargaining group that did require that, or did exercise that right. So at this point, it would be appropriate to call up the bargaining group that wants to make the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor Tamayo, Mayor Pro Tem Romero, council members, City Manager Alvarez, and my city public employees. My name is Jesus Macias. I'm a fire captain paramedic with the Montebello Fire Department, and I'm proud to serve as the union president for Local 3821 Montebello Fire Association. And I'm here because of the provided notice from the HR in regards to AB 2561, Governmental Code 3502.3, to talk about retention, talk about our recruitment efforts, and also our vacancies. I've been serving this community for the last 12 years, 5 years as a captain, and retention has always been an issue, especially with the fire department. I wanted to combat this retention problem, but it continues. Last 12 years, specifically the last 2 weeks, we lost 8 qualified paramedics to LA County Fire. Some that took demotions, but they all took a pay cut. 52 years of paramedic experience. Majority preceptors. They're the instructors of the new paramedics. 49 years of firefighter experience. These were not just firefighter paramedics. They were acting fire engineers, acting fire captains, and a fire captain. Gone. That's detrimental. Detrimental to my membership, to the organization, and to the community for the service that we can provide. The emphasis, I don't want to leave Montebello. I'm too scared. I'm scared to stay. That was the emphasis. Scared? Why? Retaliation, safety concerns, targeting, hostile work environment, demotions, just morale killer, administrative investigations, term that we know very well in our department. Now they're gone, replaced. 100,000 per employee, and during my time, I've seen this entire department 100% turnover under the leadership of Fire Chief Pelias. That's over 60. Some of our members are here today that were proudly serving this department, but were pushed out. Resignations, involuntary retirements, termination, wrongful termination. This is why these members left. No longer with us, and now we got to replace them. We cannot replace the experience overnight, not in the fire service. So now we have to change our recruitment efforts. Okay, we can't retain paramedics. We can't hire enough. So let's hire firefighter EMTs, because we have paramedics in rank, like myself, an engineer or a fire captain that has a paramedic license that will allow a fire engine to provide paramedic intervention. But now you're increasing the workload, you're increasing responsibilities, and you're decreasing safety. Because now we can't do our jobs because we're the primary paramedic until a squad arrives. Unacceptable. But we have the vision to bring a loyalty, bring some kind of ownership by hiring these firefighter EMTs that don't have the experience, don't have the paramedic license, don't have the credential. So now we send them to medic school. To date, we've sent 14. This is a combination of auxiliaries, who are volunteers, firefighter EMTs, who are getting paid their salary, and we are backfilling their position with overtime, and also sponsored cadets. 14. You know what our pass rate is? Only 5 have been successful. Out of those 5, 4 have left. Leaves 1 who's actively testing out. Failed program. Now we go to our specialty. On January 28th of this year, the fire chief talked about hazmat. We're developing a hazmat team. Sounds great. $150,000 to train 30 members to be hazmat specialists. About a third just walked out the door, so that isn't working either. Currently with our vacancies, there's only 42 to fill 60 positions that are actively working right now. 42 for 60. It should be 66 if we had the personnel, the apparatus to staff Squad 57, but we're not there. So what can we do? I met with all of you, telling you this was going to happen before and after the exits. What was done? Are we going to look into this? Are we going to investigate? Or are we just going to repeat this cycle? Because we see the investment. We see a brand new station being built. We have new apparatus, a competitive raises in this contract that we have. We're doing all the right things, but they're still leaving. I want to bridge. I want to assist. I want to retain. I'm done with exits. In 12 years, we go over 100 members who have left. We need to stop this. We need to work together. Please help us.
Next speaker, Mr. City Clerk.
Next.
Thank you for your comment.
And they didn't start the timer on the speaker. You were the representative for the labor group, so you had a little bit extra time. All future speakers on this item will have 3 minutes.
Just for clarification, he was entitled to 5 minutes, so.
Right.
But every speaker as part of the public comment is 3 minutes, okay?
Our next speaker is Janelle Goltada, followed by Celia Quesada.
Good evening. Sorry, I need my glasses. I always believed the danger in my husband's career would be the obvious kind. The fires, the cancer, the risks he knowingly accepted the day he took the oath. I never imagined the real threat would come from the very people sitting beside him at the fire station tables. For 24 years, nearly half of his life, he showed up. He gave his time, his body, and his commitment. A system has been accepted here with the backdoor promises, cheating on promotional tests, retaliation, unsafe practices, low-level standards, harassment, favoritism, intimidation, and divisiveness. a system that rewards silence and corruption and punishes integrity. They say fire wives need grit. I agree. But I don't think you expected this kind of grit, not out loud, not in a room like this, and not directed back at you. Because what's happening here is not normal. It is not normal to have this level of turnover in a profession where individuals are supposed to spend 30 plus years serving the community. It is not normal for the senior firefighter of an organization to only have 5 years of city service. It's not normal for surrounding departments to benefit from your inability to retain your own people because they're driven out by bullying and retaliation. That's not leadership, that's failure, no matter how you try to spin it to others. You look away and reward behavior that should never be tolerated. Sexual harassment, reckless conduct, discrimination, people spiraling to the point of a suicide attempt. And instead of addressing it, no, you bury it, you delay it, you prolong. A predictable playbook that protects the wrong people every single time. Meanwhile, you sit for depositions and lie, burn through public funds, and waste taxpayer money on manipulated investigations and subsequent lawsuits that shouldn't exist in the first place. Are you not embarrassed? Are you not concerned? Because the rest of us are. You try to build loyalty through fear, cutting people off, isolating them, making backdoor promises, and intimidating them into silence. But here's the problem. That strategy doesn't build strength, it builds resentment, and it divides. How embarrassing for you. But what is even more embarrassing is the coward of a fire chief scurried away tonight like the weak man he is. Anyways, to leadership, including those too afraid to do the right thing, your silence speaks louder than anything you can say. Doing nothing is still a choice, and it's the one you'll be remembered for. And here's the pattern everyone in this room knows but doesn't say out loud. People stay quiet, they look the other way, they convince themselves it's not their problem or it won't happen to them until it does start happening to them. Then suddenly the system isn't so acceptable, the silence isn't so comfortable. The same playbook you ignored becomes the one used against you. To the new command staff, I hope you're proud of the work you're being asked to do. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Next speaker is Celia Quesada, followed by Angie Macias.
Hi, my name is Celia Quesada. I worked for the city for over 20 years, 15 of them at the Montebello Fire Department. And I am here to state my personal experience that I had with Fernando Pelayas. The coward is what I have called him for the last 5 years, because that's exactly what he is. He fired me and another of the captains for absolutely no reasons. 2 days later, after I was fired, I was asked, offered a settlement. That's how bad they were. They did not fire me for a legitimate reason. They fired me because he was threatened by me. I taught him. I taught him how to do the budget. I was the only one available at the fire department at the time. I was the only administrative there, and I did everything. And all of a sudden, you have a whole group of people now working there. One of the reasons why I was fired is because I saw with my own eyes a woman that he's having an affair with putting her butt out. And I tried to ignore it because I knew that was going to be really bad. Yes.
You have to address the topic of the vacancy.
Well, I'm just saying that's what he does.
Ma'am,
He retaliates.
with all due respect,
That is a topic.
You have to address the issues of operations, not of personal attacks.
Well, it was during the.
Wait, I'm sorry, Will. Okay, we can stop the clock, but can we not have the audience chime in? I know. We just stopped for a second now.
Yeah.
Okay, can we have some decorum here? Let's not yell at each other, okay? Ma'am, so what the city attorney is asking you to speak on the relevant topic, which is the vacancies, the issues, why these
The
things
reason
happening,
why I
personal
was
attacks
fired,
are.
and the reason why he continues to bully other people. And this is my personal experience that I had with him. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for
Because you're
coming.
not going to do anything.
Thank you for your comment.
Next speaker is Angie Macias, followed by Isabel Carvajal.
Good evening, council members. My name is Angie Macias. I am the wife of Montebello Fire Captain and current Union President, Jesus Macias. My husband has been working for Montebello Fire Department for the past 12 years. I'm speaking to you today with an open heart to share what our family has endured over the past year involving fire administration. 1 week prior to my husband's pre-scheduled baby bonding leave, he was placed on what was called a special assignment. There was nothing special about it. He was assigned menial tasks, folding department t-shirts, packing fidget spinners, placing stickers on toys for almost an entire week. These tasks were carried out here at City Hall in full view of fire administration and department personnel. It was humiliating. My husband endured this quietly for our family and out of fear of losing the career he has worked so hard for during the past 13 years. The timing of this reassignment felt targeted, especially because it occurred 1 week after he asked his supervisors about the process for filing a grievance against Chief Pelaez, 1 week before his approved baby bonding leave. I feel like our baby bonding period was taken from us. What should have been a meaningful and joyful time for our family was instead overshadowed by stress, uncertainty, emotional anguish, and fear for his job security. I still remember it like it was yesterday. My husband receiving a letter stating that he was not to return from his administrative desk duty, but instead placed on administrative leave and released of all his duties. My husband has been on administrative leave for an entire year now. You saw him today. You saw him speak today. The timing felt premeditated, retaliatory, and deeply demoralizing. Watching him go through this has been truly heartbreaking. He has sacrificed so much for this department and this community. He has missed countless irreplaceable moments with our children, worked extensive hours, risked his life to provide for our family and serve the city. After 10 months of uncertainty and anguish, he was finally notified of the reason for his administrative leave. We once considered the Montebello Fire Department our family. This is why it was especially troubling to hear that members were allegedly advised by command staff not to contact my husband or others placed on administrative leave. And this is common practice. Or risk being placed on administrative leave themselves. That does not promote brotherhood. It promotes fear and isolation. After 12 years of dedicated service, to see him treated this way is deeply upsetting and wrong. Our family deserved better than this. The Rodriguez family, Carbajal,
Thank you for your
Baltara.
comment.
Just to name a few.
Our next speaker is Isabel Carvajal, followed by Kimberly Cobos Cawthorn.
Good evening, City Council. You've heard tonight from firefighters, union leadership, and families impacted by what's happening inside this department. Now you're hearing from me. Because my husband made the decision to continue his career elsewhere. Not because he stopped believing in the job, but because the environment became impossible to ignore. He raised concerns about safety, leadership, and accountability. Instead of those concerns being addressed, he found himself increasingly isolated. Over time, the focus became less about the concerns being raised and more about the person raising them. On New Year's Eve, firefighters were told complaints needed to stop. Not that concerns would be addressed, that they needed to stop. Shortly afterward, my husband was placed on administrative leave without being told why. Months passed without answers. During that same meeting, the city manager stated that he oversees all personnel matters. If he's willing to take ownership of those decisions, then he also bears responsibility for the damage they have caused. Because when employees begin feeling punished for raising concerns instead of protected for raising them, trust collapses quickly. In February, a firefighter suffered second-degree burns and required treatment at a burn center. At the same time, experienced firefighters and paramedics are leaving this department with more departures still coming. Because when experienced personnel walk away, experience and institutional walk away with them. The consequences of that instability begin showing up and impact the community depending on this department. None of you should mistake these departures for resolution. These departures are often explained away as people leaving for better pay and benefits. But that explanation falls apart when firefighters begin taking pay cuts, starting over from the bottom and walking away from departments they once planned to retire from. People do not make sacrifices like that to escape a job. They do it to escape leadership they no longer trust. This department speaks often about professionalism, integrity, service, and honesty. But those values lose meaning when the lived experience inside the department tells a different story. And fire administration and this council do not get to publicly celebrate firefighters as heroes while remaining slow to address these concerns firefighters have been raising for years. What makes this especially painful is that we genuinely believed in this department. Our family invested ourselves in this department for years. We showed up. We've supported the department publicly and privately. My husband planned to retire from here. Many of you knew him personally. He trusted this department. There was a time he genuinely believed the leadership cared about its firefighters, but after hearing testimony during the ongoing litigation, our confidence in this department's leadership deteriorated even further. Because at this point, the turnover, collapsing morale, and instability and loss of trust are no longer isolated warning signs. And even tonight, the contrast in who chose to show up and who chose to leave speaks for itself.
Thank you for your comment.
Next speaker is Kimberly Cobos-Cawthorn, followed by Vern Cresswell.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, staff, fellow community members. When we speak about retention, we really are talking about people. These people answer the calls for our residents. Our streets are safe because of them. Maintain our parks, respond during emergencies, make sure our city services are continuing to run day in and day out. These employees are not just positions on a chart. They are the backbone of our community. They report shows progress in recruitment, and that is something to be proud of. But recruitment alone is not enough, and it cannot be leave our talented employees who already believe in Montebello and dedicate their time, their family, away from their family time and energy serving our community. Every time a good employee leaves, our community loses experience, knowledge, stability, relationships that took years to build. Remaining employees are often asked to carry heavier loads, work longer hours, and do more with what's left. Not only our employees, but the quality of our service our residents receive because they're overworked and underpaid. Retention matters because people stay where they feel valued. Employees want to know that their work matters. They want opportunities to grow, support professional development, and confidence that our city is invested in them just as much as they invested in us. They were our family. They're our community family. A strong city is built by strong employees who chooses to stay, grow, and serve the community year after year. And when we invest in retaining good employees, we invest in a better public service, stronger departments, and more stable future for Montebello. I appreciate that your report, it recognizes the importance of employee engagement, career advancement, and workplace support. But I encourage all of you to continue making retention a priority, not just because it improves operations, it's because it shows the people serving our city that they are respected, appreciated, and worth investing in. And at the end of the day, our staff, our employees, are Montebello's greatest assets. If we take care of our employees, they will continue to take care of our community. And I'm sorry. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you for your comment.
Our next speaker is Vern Cresswell, followed by Will Severa.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I received a phone call to come and support our brothers and what they have gone through. And when I got that initial phone call, I started asking some questions, and I was actually shocked to hear that Fernando Pelaez was still the fire chief. That didn't even make any sense to me. But so I processed this, and driving back into the city, I had a really sick feeling. I haven't been in this city since I was terminated back in 2021. And I was terminated with Cecilia for answering a department email to introduce her to a location at the DMV. This city has gone through with me a full state trial where I reached a jury verdict was reached in my favor. After that, a state lawsuit, 2 state lawsuits and a federal lawsuit that ended in settlement. You have a fire chief right now that's pulling the wool over the heads of this council, unless you're aligned with them. I don't want to assume that, but it's a sham. In fact, I said that in a text message to a friend of mine, that Fernando Pelaez has pulled a sham of 40 years working in this city. And it pains me to call him fire chief. I'll throw that respect out here in this council meeting. But to me, he's just Fernando Pelaez. He is not a fire chief. And I don't care what that gold badge says. He has a responsibility as a fire chief to take care of 2 assets. External assets, which is the community. They think he's doing a good job. They don't know the inner workings of what's going on behind the scenes. They don't know the liability that he's putting the city in. I encourage all community members to do their research, find out through the Public Records Act how much money is being spent in litigation on these terminations, forced retirements, pushed out the door, administrative investigations that ultimately end up in prolonged 1 and 2 year administrative leave. Please. My phone's.
Thank you for your comment, sir.
Thank you for your
Your
comment.
time is up. Thank you for your comment, sir.
Next speaker is Will Severa.
So I want to start this by, hello, okay. I want to start this by saying thank you guys for coming out, serving our community and keeping us safe. And the wives, I know how much you guys have went through. It's a lot to deal with. And I'm sorry that you went through this. I don't care who you are up there. The only people that can have an excuse on this for not being involved is Rick and Danielle because they weren't here. Scarlett, Georgina, and Sal, I've talked to you guys repeatedly since 2021 over these things. We have a chief that's sitting here, and Pelaez ran like a little bitch. So what's the problem here? You keep on thinking retention is going to be solved. It's not. You need to get some balls, and you need to fire him already. How much is going to be too much? Do you know that we have dropped the fire standards to the point of an acceptance level at a college for an academy? You know how disgusting that is? Do you know that we currently have fire personnel that is out on a truck that cannot actually pull any of you guys out of the building? Minimum standards is at least 180 pounds, and they can't even lift chainsaws. They can't take a ladder off the ladder truck. And we are having bigger problems than that because they're hiring people that will not go anywhere else because they can't pass it. Pelaez is running some of the HR issues, fast-tracking some of these people. I brought up the lawsuits before. You guys think I was joking? I don't know what I'm talking about. I was a former fireman. I have a lot of people in city contacts. At the end of the day, we know why these are going to be moved. You're running for re-election. You finally need something to run on. You have shit. And the police department, that's the next retention that we're going to have a problem with. We just lost a chief. All the LAPD are going to be bouncing out. You guys need to have a meeting with the union and the fire chief and the council. I'm not talking about HR issues. We're talking about policies and procedures. We're talking about chain of command. They are not following it whatsoever. You have guys that are out for 1 year, and Zachary Humbert gets only for 4 months. If you're protected, you go out real quick. If not, they cost $400,000 per person that goes on leave for 1 year. You want to know why we're having a fucked up budget and we can't keep anything? All the colleges are even telling people, do not come to Montebello Fire. Do you know how sickening that is? As a former fireman, I went to Rio. That is disgusting. We were one of the best choices you can go to. Do you guys even comprehend that? If all of you guys have houses, do you understand that they're probably not capable of what's left in the department? That's sickening and sad. And we're spending more and more money. Retention isn't the problem. You have a personnel problem from top down, and we're too top heavy. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Mayor, that concludes all speaker cards, but it's appropriate to ask the audience if they'd like to come up to speak on this item.
Any other speakers?
I didn't plan on speaking. My name is Denise. I own Heavenly Choice on Montebello Boulevard. And I just want to explain an experience that I had as a civil service commissioner in 2012. Somebody was suing the HR department, and I don't know if that officer is here today. He was a fireman. But going over all the information, we discovered that the fire test itself had been polluted. The fire test itself, which is supposed to be an outside company, was cheating and missing pages and not fair to the firemen who were requesting advances. We pointed out these things to the city attorney who was there. I won't say his name right now. And we pointed out the difficulties that the HR department had because they were hiring the wrong person. I'm so sorry that I didn't speak up then. I apologize to all of you. It's polluted all the way down to the test. So my information is from 2012. Imagine magnifying it not 14 years later. And I wish that I had spoken up, but the way they handled it is they ousted me out of the Civil Service Commission. So maybe you need to look at the HR department, the Civil Service Commission, and the testing that's done by an outside agency, because they're bad and our city deserves better. Thank you, and thank you all for your service.
Thank you for your comment.
So this is all brand new information to me, and I will tell you I've got a pit in my stomach right now. Hearing that many of the people on council have had one-on-one conversations regarding this fire chief since 2021. Hearing that Raul says he's in charge of all personnel, and knowing how many people have left in just the last 2 weeks for these reasons, why is this person still here? Raul, you need to open an investigation. You need to do some follow-up with this. I am just so angry for all of you right now. And as somebody who lives on a street where we have a fire almost weekly, definitely monthly, I'm so grateful to this department. We live at the end of Bluff Road where there's access to it's not our property, but it's always on fire because there's trash and vagrants and whomever else. And so I'm so grateful that we have them. To know that only 42 people are staffing our entire city right now. And with the Santa Ana's still to come and the other stuff still to come. I'm just so angry with the things that I'm hearing tonight, and hearing them for the very first time, I'm shaking. I can't even imagine having this intel for the last 5 years, and this person still sitting in the seat with the lawsuits. How much money of taxpayer dollars have we spent at this time? I just can't even. I just can't even. So I really hope that you hear what these people have been, how this community, not these people, this community who are here to protect our citizens and our community and our buildings. Please, I hope that you really have listened to what everybody's had to say, that you take it to heart, and that you really do a deep dive and investigate this person that they're all discussing right now.
Thank you for your comment.
I have to agree that my stomach is sickened, knowing that all of you have heard this, and this has been going on since 21. This is failed leadership by our council, because city manager, city attorney, and all the department heads work for this council. But at one point, a council decided that they would take away their power, and in order to fire somebody, they needed a super majority vote, which is super stupid, okay? That's what I want to just tell you. The leadership in this city has failed the community. You all sitting up there have failed us. How much money is this costing the taxpayers? I agree with Corey. I mean, targeted investigations and paid admin leave for 1 year, 2 years. I mean, this is monopoly money for all of you. This is taxpayer dollars. It sickens me. I mean, senior level firefighters. I want to praise our fire department who has come out to my home, especially recently for my dying mother. They've been stellar, and I applaud them and I applaud their efforts. But when firefighters are being targeted in these fake investigations and all of this nonsense that you leaders of our city, two who have been appointed, not elected, but the others have been elected, and this is the job you're doing for taxpayers in a campaign year, it's disgusting to me. You all are disgusting because they're saying you knew about all of these problems. It's sickening. It's sickening. And thank you for not looking at your phone, Scarlett, today, and some of you, because most of the time I see this from television, and none of you even make eye contact.
Please address your comments to me.
And anyway, I just want to say, I mean, the demotions, the people that are leaving the fire department to take a lower pay cut, that is nonsense. Whoever is responsible needs to ask for an investigation, a deep dive, definitely, because people are being pushed out of this city and they don't want to come back. I'm glad you're all sitting up there and I'm not sitting up there, because I would have asked for a lot more investigation into this matter since 2021 for those of you who have been there. It's very disheartening. You know, I mean, I don't even know if the numbers on the presentation reflect the accuracy, because now we're hearing here that 8 more people just left. So those may not even be accurate numbers up there, for all I know. Well, I didn't think so. But anyway, I mean, you're putting people's lives at risk in our community if they're unqualified. And test fraud, test exam,
Thank you for
criminal.
your comments. Do we have any other speakers? Okay, I believe that nobody is
Close the
stepping
public
up.
hearing, Madam Mayor.
Yes. We will close the public hearing at 8:57.
And it comes up to the council level. The recommendation is to receive and file.
Yes. For discussion.
Mayor, council members, if I may speak a little bit on this. So I want to talk about, thank you everybody for your comments. They're duly noted, they're important comments, but I want to talk collectively about our city, where we're at. I'll be able to speak about my tenure, the last 3 years. as far as where we're at as a city and what we've been doing. Now, first, let me talk about this law. This is a very important law to ensure that cities are being transparent and that we're fully ensuring. I'm sorry, can we please ask the audience to allow me to speak? One of the key components of this law is making sure that cities are accountable. There's a threshold, specifically any bargaining unit that's over 20%, it triggers certain reporting requirements, certain measures that we have to institute as a city. This is the second year that this law has been in effect. Last year, we actually had 3 bargaining groups that were over 20%. This year, we have none. Okay, that's one point. That's one factual thing that I want to bring up to this. I also want to kind of talk about the positive, because I want to make sure that what's not lost is all the positive strides we've made over the last 3 years collectively with our city. As a reminder, I am the administrator. I am the chief personnel officer. I am responsible for every personnel decision in the city. In that capacity, I oversee 535 employees. I oversee 10 departments, including our own police and our own fire department. That is very unique. Most cities don't have both. And then in addition to that, I oversee the 3rd largest transit system in LA County. If you look at those reports, those numbers, those are all factual numbers that we have to provide. And I want to note certain things that may not fit the narrative, but these are the facts. If you look at the vacancy rates, those numbers that we put specific, I want to really highlight in particular, and we'll talk about a few of them, but one of them in particular, where we are with Smart City, with our transit unit. When I started 3 years ago, this is probably the most impacted department that we had. It's actually our largest department with most employees. When I came in here in 2023, we actually had a 2-year stalemate. We had numerous labor grievances that we were working through. Within 4 months, we were able to reach an agreement. Now, if you look at their vacancy rate, we've done drastic changes, and that's a testament to their leadership. I know John Soria's not here today, but Liz Franco is here. It's a deputy director capacity. That department, and the year that I started, we were not required by law to report what was the vacancy rate. I'd be remiss to know what that number was at that year because it was significant. This year, it's only 9.6%. And this is the largest department that has the highest turnover rate. You look at, we're talking about public safety, our police department, our police management association is actually at 0%. Our police officers association is at 8.2%. This is public safety. They have the same issues as a fire department in terms of retention, hiring, recruitment. It's a long process to bring in these folks within the fire department. For those folks that have not been here recently, the last 3 years have been very fruitful for this fire department. I would remind you that this department, we approved 2 bargaining contracts last year. Over the last year, we have made investments for the first time. This council is getting blamed. This council also needs to get recognized. For the first time in 16 years, the fire department received an increase in their health benefits. And this is this council that did that improvement. I'll just tell you, within the last 6 months, we secured $1 million from the state. No, $1 million federal funding, $1.5 million from the state, $750,000 from the county, all for the fire department. I can go on and on of all the improvement, the working conditions that we made. So I will stand by the improvement that we made in the last 3 years. I speak factually. I'm speaking about the last 3 years. I can't speak to what happened 10 years ago or so. But again, where there's insinuations being made. Please. Excuse me, this is not a back and forth. You were allowed to speak, I'm speaking now. I'm giving you the facts. I'm letting you know where we stand.
Could we please have it quiet there, please?
Yeah, I'm letting you know where we stand as a city. Ma'am, you were given the opportunity to speak. I'm speaking now as a city manager. So, council, what I don't want you to lose in the context is the positive strides that we've made citywide for our city, for all our bargaining units, including the fire department. Happy to answer any other questions.
So this is at council for any questions, comments?
Again, it's a receive and file, Madam Mayor. It would be appropriate to entertain a motion.
If there's a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion to accept.
A motion by Councilmember Romero, second.
I'll second the receive and file. I do just want to take a moment to acknowledge all.
Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, you are not conducting yourself in the proper fashion. This is a business meeting. Anyone who continues to speak out from the public, I'm sorry to interrupt, council member. Ma'am, you're out of order also, okay? So, Madam Mayor, shall I continue? Or
Yes,
just
continue.
Okay. I'm going to warn the members of the audience that if they continue to conduct themselves in this fashion, they run the risk of being removed from the council chambers. At this point, I'm sorry, Councilmember Peralta.
It's okay. I was just seconding the motion to receive and file, and do just want to acknowledge all the public comments and all, everyone, families, former employees that came here to speak about your experiences. Everything I think that we all go through in our lives is valid, and I do want to recognize that. But with that, I will second the motion to receive and file.
We have a first and a second. We can call the roll, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Romero,
Aye.
Councilmember Peralta,
Aye.
Councilmember Melendez,
Aye.
Councilmember Alonso,
Aye.
Mayor Tamayo.
Aye. So that item, we'll move on to regular business, item number 11. This is the second reading and adoption of the ordinances of the Montebello Municipal Code related to mixed-use development standards. There are no presentations for this item? Are there any speakers?
Are there any speaker cards?
I do have one speaker card for this item.
We'll call the speaker up, please. Number 11.
We are on agenda item 11. I have Corey Chappell for speaker card.
Hi, thank you. I'm actually speaking on behalf of Marie Ledesma, who couldn't be here this evening. She'd like to begin by thanking you guys, and especially thanking council members Melendez, Ramiro, and Alonso for having the courage to table this item for further discussion, and subsequently, council has now added protections to the monument and scout house and a promise to remove the green space during the next housing cycle. However, she still has two main concerns about the rezoning of the Montebello Golf Course Bicknell Park site, approximately 15 acres along Garfield Avenue. First, the timeline. The city's housing element was adopted in 2022. Then state law required rezoning to accommodate our arena numbers by early 2024. Yet the city requested an extension, and the matter was only brought forward to the council for the first reading in February of 2026. Many residents do not understand why it took years plus an extension to reach this point. Additionally, she obtained the letter that our city manager sent to HCD immediately after the council tabled the matter for further discussion. While she understands the need to update HCD, the strong and definitive language declaring noncompliance was unnecessarily harsh. The city manager should have done a much better job at protecting Montebello and advocating for our community, considering that we have been compliant since 2022. Greater transparency and reasons for the delays would help build trust with the community. Second, the status of the deed restrictions on Bicknell Park. In 1941, quitclaim deed from Edna Bicknell and Mary Cates clearly states that the land shall be used for park and recreational purposes only and for purposes incidental thereto, and shall be known as Bicknell Park. It also includes a reversion clause that if the property is used for any other purpose, such as mixed-use buildings. So in 2021, Director Palumbi himself argued to HCD that this created a valid legal restriction prohibiting other uses. Yet in recent conversations with Mr. Palumbi, she was given the impression that there are no deed protections. This creates a significant ambiguity. She respectfully asks that City Council and the City Attorney to investigate and publicly clarify at what point did the Bicknell Park deed restriction change or become unenforceable? Can council direct staff to provide residents with a clear legal analysis? Lastly, she's deeply concerned that we are being forced to rezone existing green space when vacant lots along our commercial corridors could meet our arena numbers. She urges council to hold itself accountable. In the next housing element cycle, we must rezone the green space filled with over 150 beautiful pine trees back to parks and open space. She thanks you for your time and for protecting Montebello's quality of life.
Mr. City Clerk, that's the only speaker card?
Yes, that
So
concludes our speaker cards.
this is not a public hearing, so that concludes public comment. It's up to the council for consideration and motion.
Any questions, comments from the council? If not, I'll entertain a motion and a second on this item.
I'll motion to approve.
Motion by Councilmember Peralta,
I'll second.
second member by Councilmember Melendez. Please call the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Romero,
Aye.
Councilmember Peralta,
Aye.
Councilmember Melendez,
Aye.
Councilmember Alonso,
Aye.
Mayor Tamayo.
Aye. And that takes us to our consent calendar.
Yes, at this time, we have consent, which includes items numbers 12 through 24. 12 through 24. Do we have any speaker cards for any consent agenda items?
We do not.
Thank you. It would be appropriate then, Madam Mayor, to entertain a motion to approve, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me poll the council.
Yes.
My apologies. I'll start with Mayor Pro Tem Romero. Do you have any items on the consent agenda?
None.
Councilmember Peralta.
None.
Councilmember Melendez.
No items.
And Councilmember Alonso.
No items.
Mayor Tamayo.
No items from me.
Then it would be appropriate to entertain a motion to approve items 12 through 24.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Councilmember Melendez,
I'll second.
second by Mayor Pro Tem Romero. Please call the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Romero,
Aye.
Councilmember Peralta,
Aye.
Councilmember Melendez,
Aye.
Councilmember Alonso,
Aye.
Mayor Tamayo.
Aye. And that takes us to our AB 1234 travel reports. Anybody? Councilmember Melendez?
Thank you. Just like to report 2 items. First, I attended the SCAG conference, several sessions around housing, aligning land, capital, and infrastructure projects. I also attended the 2026 Preservation Design Award. California Preservation Foundation selected the Armenian Genocide Martyrs Monument to receive the 2026 Preservation Design Award in the Cultural, Heritage, and Intangible Assets category. Maybe the city manager or mayor will talk a little bit more about that, but that was a great recognition that is statewide, and glad that I was able to join. Thank you.
Anybody else? So I also attended the California Preservation Design Awards that was given, that was honored for the Armenian Genocide Monument. We have actually the board there of what was there at the ceremony. And this is, again, it's a historically registered monument here in Montebello that is the first one in public land. So we're glad to have this and honored that it's being recognized at a state level. So we were able to attend and on the behalf of the Montebello community receive that award. Any other AB 24? All right, and council orals. Councilmember Peralta.
Yeah, I have 2, just very brief. One is just asking for the city to formally recognize through a proclamation in the incoming year and following for Arbor Day in 2027, just as our continued commitment for urban forestry and creating a healthier environment. So just ask if this can be formally recognized in the incoming years. If there are no objections.
Yeah, unless there are any objections, it's duly noted. Actually, I was surprised to find out we do events for Arbor Day, Earth Day, in conjunction. I didn't realize that we don't do such a proclamation for Arbor Day. So if it's the will of the council, we're happy to bring that back for next year.
Thank you, and it's just one of the many requirements to be a Tree USA city, something that maybe we can look at in the future. Lastly, just asking if at a future council meeting we can receive an update on the urban forestry management plan. I know that's been a grant that has been through a roller coaster ride of federal issues, but wanted to see if we can just receive an update, because it is something that folks in our community have been wondering about in terms of just how we're looking at creating the plan, community outreach, and then the actual tree planting efforts that are forthcoming.
Yeah, on this item, I don't believe that there's an action required because we are due to report back. This is a grant that we received over a year ago. We brought to council with a recommendation to move forward with it, and we've run into some challenges. So we actually are scheduled to come back to council with an update on that. So thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Okay. Anything further? That concludes our meeting.
Madam Mayor, sorry, very briefly, I just wanted to note for the record that we did receive 2 speaker cards for public orals. It was from Linda Nicholas and Tila Gregorian,
Okay.
but they're not in the chamber anymore.
Oh,
So
they're-
we're going to
okay.
mark
They're
them as
not-
absent.
All right, thank you. All right. So that concludes our meeting. We adjourn at 9:13. Thank you for attending.